Well, let's look at social care for the elderly. 4 days ago, your manifesto rejected a cap on social care costs. Today, you announced a cap. That sounds pretty half-baked.
Nothing has changed from the principles on social care policy that we set out in our manifesto. Let me just explain, if I may, why I think it's important, why this is one of the great challenges that we face, our ageing society. Just one figure, in 10 years' time, there will be 2 million more people over the age of 75. Now, our social care system will collapse unless we do something about it. We could try and pretend the problem isn't there and hope that it will go away, but it won't. It will grow each year. We could play politics with it, as the Labour Party is doing, or we could show how we can fix it, and that's what I've done.
But you say nothing has changed. Jeremy Hunt, on the day you launched your manifesto last Thursday, the Health Secretary, he said, yes, we are dropping the cap, and we're being completely explicit in our manifesto. We're dropping it. We don't think it's fair. Today you announced a cap.
And Jeremy was talking about of course, Andrew Dilnot had brought forward previous proposals for a cap, but Jeremy also went on to say that what we wanted to have was a system that was fair to taxpayers, that was fair to all generations, and that's what we're doing. And crucially, the principles...
Prime Minister, your manifesto rejects a cap. It gives a reason why you don't want a cap. Now you're going to have a cap. You need to be honest, I would suggest, and tell the British people you've changed your mind.
What I'm doing, first of all, Andrew, I'm being absolutely honest with the British people about the big challenge that we face, and absolutely honest with them about the need for us to deal with this now, to start fixing it now. Now, what I've put forward is a social care policy, which means that people won't have to worry if they're sitting there, month after month, worrying about money coming out of their bank account to pay for their care and worrying how long that will last. They won't have to worry because they won't have to be paying during their lifetime. They won't have to worry that they're going to have to sell their house during their lifetime, and they'll be able to pass £100,000 on to their families when they die. At least that's a protected £100,000. What I've done today is I've seen the scaremongering, frankly, that we've seen over the weekend. I've seen the way that Jeremy Corbyn wants to sneak into number 10 by playing on the fears of older and vulnerable people. And I've clarified what we will be putting in the Green Paper, which I set out in the manifesto.
So Jeremy Corbyn is now rewriting your manifesto?
No, not at all.
Well, that's what it sounds like. You've reacted to him.
No, we haven't. Andrew, we have not rewritten the manifesto. The principles on which we have based our social care policy remain absolutely the same. We need to ensure that we have long-term sustainability in social care. We need to be able to ensure we can fund social care for the future. We're doing the honest thing about putting a proposal to the British people, and they will make their choice on that.
How can it be honest, Prime Minister, to reject a cap in your manifesto and 4 days later say, we're going to have a cap? What's honest about that?
What we set out in our manifesto was a series of principles. It was to say to people, first of all, this is a big issue. We need to address it. And we are being honest that we must fix it, and that's what I want to do. I'm not going to bury my head in the sand. I'm not going to play politics with it, which is what Jeremy Corbyn is doing.
You're just going to change your mind already?
I'm going to fix it. What I've seen is that people have been worried by some of the things that the Labour Party has been claiming, and others, indeed, the Liberal Democrats too, about what our policy means. In some cases, the complete opposite of what our policy means.
But when Labour said you're against the cap, they were right until today. You were against the cap.
What we have done is clarified what will be in this Green Paper. We were very clear, here's our social care policy, here is what we're doing. We want to protect people. We want people not to have the worry day to day about being able to pay for their social care. That's why we're fixing this problem. That's why we're putting this into place. What I have said today is I've heard the scaremongering. I've seen how Labour want to try to sneak into number 10. Jeremy Corbyn wants to try to get into number 10 by playing on fears, by misrepresenting our policy. What we are doing is ensuring people will not have to sell their house during their lifetime. They won't have to worry about those monthly bills for their care, and they'll be able to protect more money than they have been before.
But it's a cap on lifetime social costs which worry people as well. I mean, this must be the first time in modern history that a party's actually broken a manifesto policy before the election.
Yeah. What we have done, Andrew, I set out in my manifesto the challenges that we need to address as a government. And I've been very clear with people. You know, there are two ways that you can approach this issue. You can say to people, we have an ageing society. Our system will collapse unless we do something about it. That's what I'm saying. You can ignore it, you can put your head in the sand, or you can try and play politics with it. I think it's only fair to people to say this is a problem and we need to fix it now. That's what I want to do. I want to fix it so people don't have the worry about their social care costs.
Now that you're in favour of a cap, can you give us an idea of what the cap might be, that the amount we'll have to pay for social care?
What we're going to do, as we said in our manifesto, is publish, we refer to a green paper. Of course, a green paper, many people may not realise, a green paper is a consultation. So we want to take people's views, the views of charities, the views of others, on how the system should be operating. What I've said today is that we will have within that consultation that concept of an absolute limit on the costs that people have to pay. So we're protecting people for the future. Right. We're providing a system that provides sustainability in our social care for the future. And we've got an ageing population. We need to do this. Otherwise, our system will collapse.
Why did you not put the consultation on a cap in your manifesto? Instead, your manifesto rejects a cap.
No, what we've put in a manifesto is that we will have a consultation and the principles on which our social care policy will be based. That, I think, was the right thing to do. Right. Now, we will have, if we're re-elected, we will have that consultation. Right. But I think the key issue is that there's a choice here between parties. There's a choice between Jeremy Corbyn, who is playing politics with this, doesn't want to address this issue of an ageing society.
You're not playing politics with this, Prime Minister?
No, I'm not,
You came out against a cap, you're now in favour of a cap because of the backlash? That's not paying politics?
No, Andrew, what I'm worried about is the way in which there have been fake claims about our policy which are deliberately trying to scare old and vulnerable people.
Well, you've said that.
What I've done is addressed that issue today, and I'm very clear that whoever is in government, whoever's Prime Minister, whether it's me or Jeremy Corbyn, we need to address this issue, we need to fix it, and that's what I'm going to do.
Let me move on.